Hi guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be reviewing The Demonologist, The Extraordinary Career of Ed and Lorraine Warren, and this was written by someone called Gerald Brittle. I am not really sure about what else Gerald has actually written or published. If you know if he's written anything, I wouldn't say important, but if he's written anything nice, just let me know down below and I will check it out. I found out about this novel after watching a video from Lady Jane Books' channel, and I don't really want to say that she's really into this stuff, but her video was really interesting and it got me extremely intrigued to pick this book up. As it says up the top, it is, I would say this is based on the Conjuring movies. If you didn't know who Ed and Lorraine Warren were, they were ghost demons hunters. They went around the country over in America and over here in the UK, hunting ghosts and exorcism ghosts, and I mean exorcising them and getting rid of them. You get the idea. You get the point. There have been a bunch of movies based on their career, such as The Conjuring 1 and 2, and the Curse of La Llorona, and the many Annabelle movies, all which are incredibly entertaining. Some of them are better than others, and some of them are downright terrible. But as a horror movie, they get the job done, and they give you like the chills, and it's really creepy. And the actors that play Ed and Lorraine are really entertaining to watch. And there is a picture of Ed and Lorraine Warren on the back of the book. This book does actually have a bunch of pictures in it. I will put some up here. And this book isn't full of pictures. I was expecting there to have pictures like spread out throughout this whole book, but there seems to be a few pictures at the start, and then there is a chapter in the middle-ish where there is a few pages of just pictures, and then there is nothing. I would have liked there to be a bit more pictures in this book, but spread out, but what can you do? So this book actually has a author preface and a foreword as well, and it is split up into several chapters, which I'll go through in a minute. And yeah, this was a intriguing read, and in case you are wondering, this is a non-fiction book, or supposedly a non-fiction book, but it really depends on your beliefs and your comprehension about whether everything happened in this book actually did happen. But as I said, that is your opinion. But for me, I don't know whether everything that happened in this book actually happened exactly how it's described in the book, whether it happens partially, and whether some of it was made up and some of it was real, or whether the whole thing was made up to get them more well known in the world of demons and all that type of stuff. But I will say this, I went into this book with an open mind, despite the fact whether this stuff actually happened or not. Didn't really affect my overall enjoyment. I was just reading it for what it was. And before I went into this video, I watched a clip of Ed and Lorraine on YouTube, and they both seemed really nice people. So I was just thinking about that in my mind as I was reading this. So before I get into this video, I usually say that this is going to be a spoiler-free video, but because Ed and Lorraine are so well known, and if you don't know the Warrens, there is a high possibility that you have watched one of their movies that their life is actually based on. I will say this, that this is going to be my own thoughts and opinions as always, but I just want to put it out there, guys, that when it comes to believing in this stuff, I want to believe but I'm a skeptic. I'm on the bench about this. I will say this, that when it comes to mediums, that people that actually can say that they actually can speak to their dead, I have a strong, I would say hatred, but dislike is probably the best words. I do not like mediums, but I don't want to get into all that. But I am a Christian. I do believe in God, and I do have a Bible next to me. Next to my bed. I didn't buy this purely because I was reading a book about demons. This is my own personal Bible, and I have this next to my bed because there's no better place to have a Bible. I still need to read the majority of this, but because I believe in God, that automatically makes me believe in Satan. And because I believe in heaven, that also makes me believe in hell. You can't have one without the other. You can't have good without evil, or evil without good. That's what defines them. And because I believe in heaven and hell, I believe in angels and demons. I have no problem believing in that. But what I do struggle with is that these entities or creatures, or whatever you want to refer to them as, coming from their own dimension to our world or universe. That is what I struggle to actually wrap my head around. I also want to give a warning here, guys, that if you believe in mediums, if you believe in exorcisms, if you believe in demons and ghosts and all that type of stuff, if you believe in tarot card readings, all that type of stuff, that is great. I am not shitting on your beliefs, because this is what this book lightly touches on, his beliefs. But if you believe in that type of stuff, that is great. But for me, as I said, I want to believe, but I want to see it for myself. If I see it for myself or witness it for myself, then I will hold my hands up and say, right, all this stuff is real. You know, Santa Claus and Easter Bunny and demons are apparently real. So yeah, but what I am asking you guys is just to take this kind of review slash discussion video with a pinch of salt. It is supposed to be entertaining. I'm not trying to shit on anyone's beliefs, but yeah, just keep that in mind, guys. So this book is a non-fiction book, as I said, and it is as I said, it is written by Gerald, but this book is completely told from the perspective of Ed and Lorraine Warren themselves. Every chapter, I was thinking that it was going to focus on a specific case from their career. You know, like every single chapter was going to focus on one individual different case. But some of the chapters, they focus on a specific family being haunted by a spirit or a demon. And then it might go on to a different chapter where they discuss demons and demonologists and the whole world of being an exorcist and heaven and hell, and how demons can be summoned to our dimension. It goes super in depth with this subject. It really does. It's not really what I classify as boring, but it can get a bit repetitive at times. But despite my overall feelings about whether this stuff actually is real or not, I found it to be extremely enjoyable and entertaining to actually read. And the Warrens actually say in this book that they never charged for their services. They went there because they were generally wanting to help these people out, and they were concerned about this, about their well-being. Whether they had a ulterior motive, like they wanted to get their these possessed objects or artifacts, they actually repeatedly say in this book that they never charged for their services. But they did say that they actually wrote several books, so that's probably where they got all their money from. They do say repeatedly in this book about how people shouldn't use Ouija boards even for fun, and they say repeatedly in this book as well that how people come across specific books about demons and how they accidentally summon these creatures into their homes. And some of this stuff is extremely scary as well. There was a girl in this that actually was extremely infatuated by a guy that was ignoring her, and she wanted to have a kind of put a love spell on him, so she became a witch. And yeah, this book does cover witchcraft and sorcery, and not just demons, and how she became a witch and she drank blood, and yeah, it was really, really freaky as well. And how these demons were haunting all these people's houses, and what actually happened, and it describes about what Ed and Lorraine actually did and how they helped these people out. And it does actually focus on the Amityville house. It does open up with a chapter focusing on that. It's not super in depth, but it does bring up the Amityville case throughout this book, as well as Annabelle the possessed doll. She actually does have her own separate chapter, which is the third chapter, I believe, and it does go in depth about it. Nothing that I didn't know already. There was a weird cat that kept on following her or being around Annabelle. But it was really, really interesting to read. It was really freaky. And Annabelle is occasionally brought up throughout this book as well. So yeah, that's basically what this book is really. It starts off by telling us a little bit about Ed and Lorraine, about how they started off with their career, like they were painters, and how they used to research all these buildings that were supposedly haunted, and they went out and they sat outside the person's house with their canvas and they were painting their house, and they went up to the owner of their house and they asked them, look, we've painted a picture of your house and we'll give it to you in exchange for you to tell us the story of this supposedly haunted house. But don't go into this thinking that it's going to tell you, right, this is when Ed and Lorraine Warren met and how they fell in love, and this is how they found out about their powers. And I do mean that with the deepest respect, because because as I said, I do not know whether all this stuff in this book actually happens. I do not know whether these actually people did the things that they supposedly could actually do. But I do know that these people, from interviews I watched, were so nice. Ed was a demonologist. He has done exorcisms in this book as well, but he doesn't claim to be an exorcist. And Lorraine is a clairvoyant. I'm not sure what that is. As far as I'm aware, she can go around the house and try to sense bad energy. So that's what the book actually focuses on. It doesn't really have a beginning and an end. It doesn't end on the book saying like they actually died or whatever. But if you are interested in demonology or the supernatural, then this is a really great book to actually read. So when it comes to what I liked about this book, the way it's written is extremely easy to read. It's not complex to understand, although they do go super in depth with the world of being a demonologist and all that type of stuff. But overall, the book is really intriguing and entertaining to read. I'll give it that. It's really scary and spooky. It doesn't go into super detail, like all blood and gory, people getting their hearts and throats ripped out and people being killed brutally. But it is really creepy. It's more creepy than gory, if that made any sense. So, yeah, really good thing to read when you're about to go to bed. But when it comes to what I disliked about the book, as I said, it does get a bit repetitive, especially towards the end when you're winding down and you're like, okay, when's this thing gonna end? And another thing as well that I would have liked a bit more of is the pictures. I would have liked, as I said, I would have liked it if there was a few more pictures in this book. Maybe 1 or 2 after the end of every chapter, but that's just a personal preference. I do not know whether Gerald didn't have the resources or any photos from these cases. I'm not sure, but I would have liked it if there was a few more pictures. So in conclusion, this was a really fun book to read. Whether, as I said, all this stuff actually happened in this book actually did happen, I'm not sure. I personally would like to think that some of this stuff did actually happen. But it was a really entertaining and fun read. If you do believe in ghosts and hauntings and demons and mediums and tarot card readers, and psychics as well, and that is all great. But go into this book with an open mind like I did, and if you strongly believe in every single page of this book actually did happen, that is great. But yeah, this was a really great book to read, especially if you're trying to find something in a non-fiction genre during the Halloween period. You cannot go wrong with The Demonologist. So the rating I'm going to give The Demonologist is a 4 stars out of 5. So that's it, guys. That is my review on The Demonologist by Gerald Brittle. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a like, comment down below, let me know if you read this, if you found it interesting, if you liked it, if you didn't like it. Let me know if you believe in this type of stuff. Once again, this video wasn't intended to offend or upset anyone's beliefs. I mean, I used to believe in humanity and common sense, and then the coronavirus showed up and completely tossed all that out of the window. So yeah, but let me know if I've maybe inspired you to pick this book up. It was a really fun ride. It really was. If you have enjoyed this video as a whole, as always, please consider smashing that subscribe button, as it helps out so much. If you do subscribe, please click on that bell so it reminds you about whenever I upload videos, which are always every Monday and Friday. And as always, I will have a link down below to my Goodreads account in case you want to follow me and message me and see what I'm currently reading. And with all that out of the way, have a great day, read some awesome books, and I will see you all in my next video.